just in the last couple of days, I finished up all the outside work of the pool house, and as a standalone thing, I think it looks awesome. But it's springtime, which means we're about to start spending a lot of time in this backyard, so it needs some details. Specifically, I think it needs some plants, maybe to frame out this wall, but also you need a place to sit while you're waiting your turn for the diving board. So today I want to make a couple of planters to hold plants, but not just any planters, I want to make them out of concrete. And then I also want to build a bench in between them, so we've got a wood-concrete combination. This video is sponsored by Vevor, and they sent me some cool stuff to use in the backyard on this project, but honestly, I've got a lot planned out here, so I'm going to end up using it all summer. Let me show you what they sent me. So the first thing they sent was this hose reel, which is pretty fantastic. You can mount it to a wall, but I mounted it to a workbench. And either way, you've got 180 degrees. This thing can move to wherever you need it to. The sprayer on the end has 9 patterns, but the coolest thing is that it's got 100 feet of hose on the inside, and you can just do this. That's a lot of hose. Now that's super handy out here. You can water plants all over the entire yard, add water to the pool, fill up the dog bowl, and when you're done with it, you just give it a little yoink, and then it reels itself back in. Now I'm also gonna use that to mix up the concrete, but first I gotta show you something else. They also sent me this super awesome garden cart. Now this thing is a beast. It can hold about 1,200 pounds. It's got 13-inch inflatable tires. It's fine on any terrain. It's got a nice beefy handle that you can turn 180 degrees. You can steer it really easily, and check this out. This is the coolest. You fill it up with a bunch of yard waste, and then when you want to dump it, you just lift the handle and it dumps out. Seriously great to have around your backyard, whether you're hauling, bags of dirt, leaves, or bags of concrete. Speaking of concrete, we need to go figure out the plan for the planters. Basically, I'm gonna build a form that is an MDF box with some stuff on the inside of it. On the bottom of the inside of the box, I'm gonna have a couple of sheets like this with the corners cut out so that those corners will be filled up with concrete, creating little feet. And then on top of this piece is gonna be a little piece of PVC pipe, which will eventually be a drain from this big void, which will be created by putting in a 5-gallon bucket. So all of this space around here will get filled up with concrete, theoretically. So the first thing we need to do is make a simple box, but I don't do anything the simple way. I'm gonna make it more complicated. Instead of just making a simple box that has 4 flat sides, I thought it would be cool to put some sort of a pattern on the inside of that form so that when it comes out, the concrete has a pattern built into it. So, on laser, I cut a bunch of these. This is the Japanese style pattern that I really like and I've never used before, and I thought it would look really cool on the 4 faces. Now, this is deep. They do have sharp corners, which means that when you put concrete into this, it's not necessarily gonna fill all those little gaps. So I'm kind of expecting this to look a little bit old, a little bit crumbled, a little bit incomplete, but I think it's just complicated enough to look cool, even if it's not perfect. I have no idea if this is gonna work at all, but my plan is to glue one of these to the inside wall all the way around on the form. And then it'll get filled with concrete so that when you take the form off, it will leave these little things as like extrusions sticking out of each side. I don't know, but first we gotta cut the walls and glue these things on. So now I've got my 4 wall pieces here. Next I gotta work on the bottom. This is the actual bottom, but I need to build it up and leave a gap in the corners so that I can have some feet. So these pieces will get stacked on top of there like that. So when concrete goes in here, it will fill that in. When you take it apart, you'll have little feet. Theoretically. I really have no idea if it's gonna work. I've got my base done, and now I've got a little 2-inch section of pipe, and I'm gonna hot glue that right in the middle, and that's where the bucket is gonna sit. So the space below the bucket and on top of this will be the bottom of our planter. So with the base done, basically what's gonna happen for this form is the pieces are gonna be put on the sides like this and then screwed together from the outside. So that when I wanna take this out, I can actually unscrew each panel and pull it off because there would be no way for me to pull the thing actually out of the form otherwise. But before I can screw any of this stuff together, you may notice that this is MDF. And if you know anything about MDF, you know that it completely soaks up water, which is terrible for concrete. So we gotta fix that. I've seen a couple of different options and I'm actually gonna do both of them. One is a lacquer. In my case, I'm gonna use spray lacquer to get in all these little shapes of the pattern, and I'm gonna do several coats because it dries really quickly, and I wanna try to get a coverage, which is just a thin layer in between the MDF and the concrete. Then once I get done with all that, I'm gonna go back with paste wax to add another layer on top of it, and I definitely will not get it all right, but I'm gonna do my best to create a separation between the dry MDF and the wet concrete. I have absolutely no idea if these molds are gonna work like I want them to, and unfortunately, even though I want to, I don't have any time to procrastinate. So, I'm gonna get these things screwed together and then we can go mix some concrete. All right, here's what it looks like before concrete. So, here goes nothing. Okay, here's the deal. I'm starting with Portland cement, which is basically concrete without the aggregate. It's just the concrete part. And so I'm gonna mix that with some sand, 2 parts sand. Apparently that's a really good mixture when you're doing casting, but it also needs it to flow really well. So I want it to be pretty wet, but if you make it too wet, it actually won't be strong. So I found something called flow control, which is like a plastomer that you can add to it to make it more fluid without adding more water. So I'm gonna have to test this stuff. I've also got a little colorant that I'm gonna throw in there, which probably is just gonna complicate things, but either way, I'm gonna make it darker than normal. I got this really cool utility cart from Vevor, and I'm gonna use this as the place to mix my concrete. So I'm gonna mix in here, and then I'm gonna pack it into the detailed sides of my mold, and then once I get up to the top of that pipe, I'm gonna glue in this bucket and then fill around it. That's the plan. Wish me luck. I already see one problem with my plan. So one issue with using this thing as my mixing platform is that it has grooves in it. And so the stuff that's in those grooves is not gonna get mixed the same as everything else, which means I'm gonna have to like manually get in those grooves, which is why concrete mixing tubs are flat on the bottom. It is getting pretty evenly mixed though. So that's cool. Water time. A little bit of an extra pain to get down in those grooves. It's not too bad. Just making sure that I dig it out, mix it in. It seems pretty well mixed. Maybe a little too wet, but I don't know. Okay, time for color. I also don't have a real scientific way to do this, so I'm gonna do like what I'm gonna call a plop. Plop. One plop. Needs another plop. 2 plops. Okay, now I'm gonna start packing this stuff in down where the feet are, and then try to like tap it in on the sides and just start filling it up until we can put the bucket in and then fill around that. I also am gonna have to vibrate the entire thing, and I think I'm gonna use a jigsaw for that. All right, well, I gotta be honest, I don't have super high hopes that that's gonna work, and I also realized that I don't have a backup plan, but I'll figure it out if I need to. First, let me tell you the things that I think I might have done wrong here. One is the bucket. So the bucket is a lot closer to the edge than I was expecting it to be, and it's not even. So this section over here is a lot thicker than that section over there, and I tried to kind of like move it by hand, but it would only go so far after I got all the stuff in there. That also might be kind of hard to get out, but that's not a big deal. One of the bigger problems though is the sand. The first bag I started with was really fine, like playground sand, and then I had to go get some more because I only bought one bag. And when I got other stuff home, it was not playground sand. It had these big chunks of stuff in it, a much rougher, thicker grain of sand, which means that there's fine sand up till about right here. And then not fine sand and not fine sand. So I don't think they're gonna look the same. But you know, I mean, they're not pieces of art, they're just planters. And they may look totally fine once you get plants in them and a bench across them, which means I need to start figuring out what I'm gonna do for the bench that goes across them. Well, they recommend that you should wait 48 hours when you cast concrete to make sure that it can completely set up. And it's been 24 hours, which is close enough for me. I went ahead and took out the screws, and now I'm gonna start pulling this apart just to see how one side of this looks. I'm not sure if I said this before, but I don't really expect the pattern that I put into the sides of these to turn out like super crisp. I don't really think that's how concrete works, at least with no experience. So my hope is that I get some sort of a pattern, and even if it's crumbly and incomplete, it'll look cool, maybe it'll look old. I don't know, let's just find out. I mean, the good thing is it's like separating from the MDF, so it is starting to dry. I know I'm gonna end up cracking some of the concrete off. I can already tell, like in the corners. Just try to do it evenly and gently. And yes, I know waiting the full 48 hours probably would be a smart thing to do, but you know, it's me. Okay, come on. Oh, hey, well, okay, hold on. Hey, that's pretty cool. I mean, it didn't not work, I think. So check that out. I mean, obviously there's a lot of concrete still left in the mold that didn't come out, but there's some of it still there. And even the stuff that kind of came off looks pretty cool. So I'm kind of anxious to take the rest of the sides off and see the whole thing. Well, the feet broke off, so that's kind of a bummer, although it's not entirely unexpected. I didn't really think ahead about how to get this piece out of the feet, and so I put a lot of pressure on them, and I don't think I had the mix right, so they kind of broke off. Luckily, I can just take them off and use a flat bottom, and it's no big deal. All right, not perfect, but for the side that's gonna be on the ground that nobody's ever gonna see, I'll take it. Well, I got them out of the cart and got them set in place, and this one looks pretty good. This one is a disaster. I had to cut the buckets out of these things. They were just stuck in too well. And as I was cutting this one out, I noticed a little crack here across the top. And then as I started pulling the bucket out, that crack shot down and back up the other side. In a split second, the entire thing is cracked. You can see the crack goes down here, across, and then up the other side, and breaks in a bunch of different places. And all the stuff is still kind of in place. So I immediately thought, what if I could get some landscape adhesive and I'd take these pieces apart really carefully and then kind of glue them back together. That would probably hold them. But if this is weak enough to crack from that, I don't know that I want to be sitting on it. Plus, once you add dirt and water to it, all those cracks are just going to get worse. So we're going to pivot. Well, I have to say, I was really close to letting this ruin my day, but I'm not going to let it. It's actually kind of cool. Like, it's not what I wanted at all, and I can't use it the same way I was thinking, but I don't think I'm actually gonna throw it away, because if you had a plant in here that was like vining and came down over top of this, it would look like ruins. So I may keep it whether I use it or not. But also looking at it, there aren't any more cracks. So I wonder if I just spun it around and put this on the outside and then did that plant thing I was talking about, if it would still work. I do think it would actually work this way, but it's just not really what I wanted. Plus, by changing it, by removing one of these, it lets me pivot to a slightly different idea. So we're gonna save this for something else. You got any ideas, Boone? Nothing? You're a lot of help. Originally, I was just gonna be making like a kind of a plank that went across and set on the inside lip of both of these, but now I don't have that. So I've got to figure out a way to not only carry it over and add a leg to it, but stop it from falling off, because there's nothing on the other side to kind of hold it. So, Now, I gotta say, these tools are 18.5 volt brushless tools, and you might expect them not to perform very well because honestly, they're a little bit cheaper than a lot of the other brands, but these work just fine. In fact, this thing might be my new favorite jigsaw. Now, Vivor didn't ask me to tell you about prices or anything, so I don't know if they're gonna like this, but I looked this thing up and it's $61 with a battery and with a charger, and you just cannot get a brushless tool for that kind of price. These things are good enough to use on a job site, and I mean, at that price, like, why not get all the tools that you want to have? Anyway, back to building this thing. All right, this thing is very simple so far. Basically, I used some scrap as spacers to go in between these pieces and screwed them in from the end. And then on the bottom, there's just a cross piece that's going into all of them. So none of them can move. They're all connected in 3 places. And then these pieces are connected through the face on the outside. So it's pretty much done, except I need legs. All right, let's see if this even works. Huh, it does work. Super well, actually. Well, even with the change of plans, I think that turned out pretty well. Still need a plant. I was expecting it to look a certain way, and things didn't work out exactly like I was planning, but I do think it looks fantastic, and I think the asymmetry of having 1 planter instead of 2 is actually probably the better choice. I do need your help though. If you've personally done concrete casting and you have some tips and tricks to tell me what I did wrong and what I can do better on this in the future, please let me know down below, because I think this has a lot of potential and I want to try it again. Huge thanks to Vivor for sponsoring the video. Their tools have pro-level performance without the pro-level price. Be sure to check them out. I'll put links down in the description. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll catch you next time. Seriously great to have you on. So here's my idea for the forms, planters. This bench is just one of the many little, wow. And I've got some little 2 inch. Nice, the wind chimes in the background, put everybody to sleep. Okay.